hockey game and shook his head. I think he said wow to a couple. I've won that solid candy corn.
I have 75. So
What's that?
I have 75.
75, yeah.
Ready? Okay. We'll now call the February regular school board meeting to order. Roll call. We have one absent. Darla is not here tonight. Everybody else is here. 1.2, recognition of visitors and guests. Thanks to the few that are here and some that are watching. 1.3, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, 1.4, correspondence and recognition. We've had no public participation. 1.4.2, recognition of students, staff, and community. Joel?
Yeah, I'm going to take that this week. I just wanted to acknowledge all the great things that continue to happen in and throughout the district. But we do have two things we'd like to highlight. Both of them, you're going to need to kind of turn your attention to the screen. So for our folks watching online, if you want to show that. The first one is a collaboration between our communications department, our HR department, and Studio 3. And so a shout out to Ann, to all of our Studio 3 members, and to Carmen and her team. There had been a vision for when we go out to promote all the great things we have to offer in District 518 at our job fairs and out in other communities, that we have a promotional video. And so I'd like to take just 5 minutes tonight and share the video that we're actually going to unveil on Tuesday over in Sioux Falls at a job fair that a few of us are going to go and attend. when we get the opportunity to go meet with some prospective new teachers and new staff, we can talk about how great it is, but when we can show them, it's going to be really impactful. And so again, I thank everyone that had a hand in this, and I'm excited to unveil it on Thursday. The other thing that I'd like to share, about a month ago, a couple weeks ago, we had a boys basketball game here against Sibley Cheaton. And we got the okay from the student's family. Sibley Cheaton had a senior named Brendan. And Brendan is a student with disabilities and very much enjoyed basketball. And the collaboration between coaches and teams to make sure that everyone got a chance to feel success was something that they had talked about prior to the game. And so I have just a quick highlight that we pulled off of Huddle that shows truly the inclusivity that we can provide. And, you know, the competition and the winning is important, but the experience is probably the most beneficial. And so number 2 is Brendan, and both teams wanted to make sure he had some highlights in his senior season. So that was Brendan, and truly just a great visual of teamwork and collaboration to make sure everyone feels involved. So that's our recognition for the month.
And if you were at the game, they actually did it twice. He just didn't have enough time to make
Yeah,
a second one.
they tried
so
again.
It was kind of fun to be there. 2.0, I need approval of the agenda, consent and main agenda. And then we are going to move 4.5 from the consent agenda. So when we approve that, we'll have to do it with addition. So 4.5 is going to go to 5.11. Do I have a motion to approve the agendas?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion by Aaron and a second by Matt. All those in favor of the approval of agendas, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, 3.0, need the approval of minutes. School board committee meeting minutes, last school board meeting, 3.0. Do I have a motion to approve minutes?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Matt, seconded by Lori. All those in favor of the approval of minutes, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, now is when I'll need the motion for consent agenda with changes.
I move the approval of the consent agenda with 4.5 removed.
Okay, motion by Lori. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ann. All those in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, 5.0 main agenda, monthly financial overview.
Ryan's gonna do that.
Ryan.
We're now 7 months through our school year. Our general fund revenues are at 54.77% of our budget compared to 52.28 from last year. Our total funds revenues are at 54.75 compared to 52.5% last year. And our expenses in the general fund, we're at 48.2% of our budget compared to 50.81% last year. And our total funds are at 51.88% compared to 54.58% of last year. Currently working on the 26 budget revision, and I should have that completed in to you guys next month.
Okay, any questions for Ryan? We know he likes to talk, so. Good, okay. 5.2, approved tax abatement request that we had earlier. Joel, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say it one more time. Again, proposed new construction home, 921 Diagonal Road. That's a single-family home, approximately 1,100 square feet. They've attached all the site and building plans and floor plans. The request is being made under the provisions of the Nobles County Home Initiative, and all necessary paperwork is completed and present, so looking for approval.
Do we have a motion for the tax abatement?
So moved.
Motion by Ann, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Aaron. All those in favor of the tax abatement request, say aye.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Oh, sorry, yes, roll call.
Ms. Dudley.
Aye.
Ms. Shooty.
Aye.
Ms. Mills.
Aye.
Mr. Bloom.
Aye.
Mr. Parrish.
Aye.
Mr. Woodboom.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, 5.3, approve 2 new concurrent courses at the high school. Josh?
Yeah, this one's looking for board approval so the high school can continue to move forward collaborating with Midwest to offer more concurrent enrollment courses here. I know Mr. Hastings has a vision to try to offer more concurrent options in each department here at the high school. This one would add one to the math department, and it's actually somewhat of a change in the ag department. They want to offer the meat science. They've offered a number of concurrents, and I think they're just trying to find where they can hit that student interest. So this would allow students to earn an elective high school credit, but also the college credit from Midwest.
Do I have a motion to approve the 2 new concurrent courses?
Move to approve.
Motion by Matt, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lori. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, I missed a chance in discussion. I wanted to ask a question, not necessarily regarding this, but just the concept of this kind of course offering. And maybe this is more for Mr. Hastings, but how does it develop? And we have the dire lack of trade folks in our community, HVAC, welding, et cetera. I mean, is there opportunities where we can continue to try to work with our community college and work more in that direction?
I will speak to my history here at the high school. I think the more opportunity that we can potentially train up our own staff when it comes to some of the trade areas and offer certificates or college credits, it could still go through Midwest. But my understanding is because of the investment from Midwest in the Jackson campus, when it comes to the trades, PSEO, we've tried to send kids on transportation over there, and the schedule gets really difficult. But because of their investment in Jackson, understandably, they may not invest those types of dollars to have that type of an opportunity here in Worthington. With that said, I think if we could offer it right here at the high school, they'd be more than interested in working with us.
Okay. Thank you.
Good, Matt. Okay, 5.4, approve the first reading of policy 209, Code of Ethics.
So this should have been included in the board packet, but we're continuing to look through all of our policies, look at when they've last been reviewed, revised, and updated. This is one that came across while doing some other research, and as we were looking at what was being proposed in a different district, and then we cross-referenced it with ours. We had noticed that we had missed 2 or 3 revisions on Board Policy 209. And so our recommendation, because they are so far out of alignment now with MSBA's model policy, that we wipe the slate clean and we take the most current version, which is 2022 from MSBA, on the 209 Board Code of Ethics.
We'll have 2 readings for this, right?
Yes. It went through committee without any revisions.
Do I have a motion to approve the first reading of policy 209?
So moved.
Motion by Lori, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Aaron. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, 5.5, approve the negotiated master agreement between Independent School District 518 and Education Minnesota Worthington for 2025-27. Joel.
Yeah, I'm going to fill in for Carmen as Carmen's out this evening, but you can also follow along on the screen if you'd like. We've got a short presentation that goes along with it that shares some of the highlights, but just want to again acknowledge publicly the collaboration that took place between the Ed Minnesota Worthington group and our our own district negotiating team that went into this process. We did begin meeting in late June, just as I arrived. We met throughout a total of 14 various sessions throughout that time, some with longer time in between, so we had time to prepare certain aspects. Others, we met more frequently as we had more momentum through the process. But through that process, we updated many language items. I'll share some of those. And a priority for both groups was, again, to continue to support the family health insurance costs. While thinking of all of that as a district and board team in the early stages, we needed to also prioritize our financial stability moving forward. And that was a responsibility that we really tried to hold true to while also trying to meet the needs and hear the concerns from EMW. We know that there are still some different things that are out there that are not finalized. The compensatory revenue is something that we continue to get more and more information on every day, and that continues to be something that we need to keep a close eye on. We know that the special education funding has their blue ribbon group where they've been tasked to cut $250 million from that budget statewide. And then we still have the state budget forecast out there, knowing that we have about a 2.6% increase in the student formula for next year. But as they go into another budget year, that unknown is also something that we made sure to be a part of our decision-making as a district team. Also, throughout the process, we had a number of MOUs that I'll go through that have some very specific focuses on. And we reached that tentative agreement about 3 weeks ago on January 26th. This is super hard to see, I apologize, but it does highlight a couple of things. Up at the top, it highlights the financial increase in both years, 2% in year one. That is this year with retro going into effect once we're all finalized and ready to go, and a 1.85 financial increase in year two. As you go straight down, that next oval is highlighting that we did increase the total amount that can be allocated to the 403B match. We do that in respect to the number of staff that either become qualified for that benefit or as they progress through if the benefit does increase. And then lastly, in the middle right side there, it shows that we did provide a total overall percentage increase of 8% to the cost of health insurance. Total cost of the package overall is an 8.25% cost to the district. And then along with that comes a couple of other things, right? And so included in that cost is some of the paid leave time, as well as an increase to TRA. Some other things that we worked through that almost 6-month process was updating all of the new Minnesota ESST laws, making sure language was included that referenced that law within and throughout the contract. We added or increased various extracurricular positions through the process. We did increase the percentage compensation for the band assistant, and then included new positions of a marching band percussion assistant and a marching band color guard assistant. And then we had a position, a strength and conditioning coach position that currently existed, but it was not within the contract. And so both parties felt it was cleaner to have that extracurricular coaching position within. And so we did find a place for that in the master agreement. Again, throughout the process, we allowed for the rollover of one personal day. We changed the length of year for our teaching staff by 1 day to 185. And it does now include one paid holiday, which will be called out in the contract as either an MLK or President's Day. There was also a section in the contract that got a little bit convoluted in regard to how overloads were paid out or costed or compensated. And so we clarified those, put them all on the same percentage scale, and made that a lot easier for both teaching staff to know where they're at for overloads as well as our business office. Again, we've talked about this. We changed the length of school year. That will start next year at 185 days. Also, a new section puts into play that one paid holiday. And then if you remember at the prior meeting, you also approved the one summer or calendar year flex day, and that was written into an MOU, but will roll into contract language moving forward in the next contract. With our MOUs, we continued 2 of them. That was the student-to-staff ratio goals, both for gen ed, various grade levels, as well as special education. The MOU that was currently in place for VIBE will be included. And then we had a couple of new ones. We have a new one for adult basic ed. That MOU specifically calls out that at the end of this spring, that moving forward, no staff member will be required to teach in 2 platforms at the same time, meaning they won't be required to teach in person and online students at the same time. They still have the flexibility to do so if they feel comfortable, but in the event that they don't, students that are only able to attend virtually will be put into a separate section. And right now, we're thinking that that section needs to have anywhere between 5 and 8 students to move forward. We also created a compensation scale for unfilled special education teaching positions. If you remember, this year we had 3 that went unfilled in a couple of different sites, and we were able to work out language that we felt was fair to, again, compensate and recognize the extra work that goes into play when those positions do go unfilled. And then lastly, we have one around AI, specifically talking about how AI would potentially get used in evaluations. The MOU specifically calls out that it will not be the sole tool used when doing teacher evaluations. And it also has a provision that once MSBA comes with their model policy, that both EMW and the district group recognize that we want to just reopen that conversation to make sure we don't have anything in that MOU that would contradict a potential board policy. And so with that, I can take any further questions.
You guys got any questions? So my question is, it's still a budget concern to me moving forward. We don't know what kind of funding we're going to get from the state until when?
Compensatory, initial projections will come any day. Ultimately, they've been tasked with coming with their recommendations in October, which is really late, as well as special education doesn't have really an end date until almost September. And so we're really working off of projections that are going to be given. And so to combat some of that, just want to share that our business office team and Carmen's HR team working really hard right now. They've done a really nice job on building specific staffing sheets and calling out every specific staff member that works in that building and what funding source we're using to fund that position. And so if you do recall from the audit, I think we put somewhere around $2 million into the reserve compensatory account. And truly that money is given to us to be spent on the students that generate it. And so our team is going to be really cognizant of making sure that those dollars get spent on those students. And we're creating a mechanism and process to make sure that we're being, financially responsible with that money, knowing that the ones with the most restrictive tags should get spent first. And it appears that has been done in some cases, but not in all. And so that's the work we're really working on to make sure as budget continues to progress through the spring and into June, that we're able to provide a real clear picture of where we're at and where we're going to go.
If it would be a 0 or a real low number, or do we have concerns of budget constraints on our district in the ongoing future, say in a couple of years?
Yeah, if we get through 1 year of this new process, we're going to have real clear vision of where we could be heavy in some areas, where we may be lacking funding in others. And that's going to give us a roadmap of where to potentially go should a budget forecast, overall budget, continue to be bleak and require us to continue to look at that revenue.
Anybody else, questions? No, we need a motion in a second.
Excuse me, Mr.
Yep,
Chairman.
go ahead.
In regards to the community ed, the in-person and the online section,
Yeah.
if online quorum isn't met, will then those students not be able to move forward with their learning?
That's a good question. So we've got 2 mechanisms. Number one, we're going to put them on a waiting list, so that would be one. The other opportunity we have is a partnership with Mankato that Sharon has built, and they do offer many other online sections. And so Sharon's working with other entities to find that avenue so someone doesn't have to pause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, just my comment is a thank you to our staff, our board members, to the teachers group for the 14-plus meetings and additional hours of negotiating. Thank you.
Agreed. You guys good? Okay, if there's no other questions, need a motion.
I move approval of the contract with EMW.
Motion by Lori, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ann. All those, is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of the master agreement, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Abstain.
Eric has to abstain, because yes. But it's still a 5-0 vote, so motion passes. Okay, moving on, 5.6, approve the 26-27 NCIC budget. And that goes, Brian
Heidi's
or
gonna.
Heidi? Okay.
Heidi, yep.
Good evening. My name is Heidi Ramirez, and I am the cultural liaison at NCIC, and I'm here on behalf of Gladys Aldana. I'm going to talk about our 3-year plan, which is something we do every 3 years for the state. We do 3 goals for each member district. For Worthington, our first goal is on achievement disparity, and we chose reading intervention. So our goal is using the Spring Fastbridge CBMR assessment of 2nd and 3rd grade students, the gap between Hispanic and white students will be reduced by a total of 4% over 3 years, starting from a baseline gap of 31% in 2025 through 2026 school year to being reduced to a gap of 27% in spring of 2029. For our goal 2, it's on integration. By 2029, the number of students from diverse racial and economic backgrounds participating in out-of-school time programs during the school year and summer will increase from a baseline of 150 students in 2026 to 160 students in 2029, providing academic success, civic engagement, and college and career readiness experience. And we will also be doing the school retreats in that goal. For our 3rd goal, it's under teacher equity. The percentage of all staff who identify as racially diverse will increase from a baseline of 23% in 2026 to 26% by 2029 to improve equitable access to diverse and effective educators of all staff. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. So we need a motion to approve the budget. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the NCIC budget.
Okay, motion by Aaron, second by Ann.
Yes.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
How are these goals developed? Could you talk a little bit more about that process?
I'm not really sure about this. I'm just filling in for Gladys Aldana.
Sarah's gonna step in. Sarah's
Okay.
appointment. Sarah, you can sit next to Josh.
I was going to jump in.
Oh, okay.
Really involved this.
So the goals are developed within a partnership of NCIC staff, working with building level admin and district level staff examining data, and then kind of building it in within the goals of NCIC.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 5.7, approve the APAC, American Indian Parent Advisory Committee Compliance Report. And Sarah?
Yeah, good evening. So this year, I am the American Indian Education Coordinator. And just a reminder, the APAC is the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee. And any district with more than 10 American Indian students are required to have an APAC and to have an annual compliance report, which is what we're talking about tonight. So it's an opportunity for APAC members to meet and discuss whether or not they concur with the educational offerings that have been extended in the district to American Indian students. So current programming really looks at the Discovery Room at Prairie Elementary, the cultural trunk items that we have in grades K through 8. The fourth graders go on a field trip to Pipestone National Monument every year. And then we have Indigenous People Day lesson plans throughout all grade levels in the district. Moving forward, our plan includes more outreach with students and families to discuss college and career readiness. It includes kind of infinity groups or pull-out groups in all the buildings to build community among our American Indian students and really kind of check in academically. And then it also has an emphasis on parent engagement within our APAC meetings. So our goal by the end is to have at least 5 families involved. Right now we have 2. And then through our funding, we can do different conferences or have meetings and do opportunities for American Indian students. So at our last meeting, the APAC is in concurrence. They agree that we're doing our part and they like the direction we're heading. So I just need an approval from the school board tonight.
Sarah, a quick question. How many students, we have more than 10, but how many total?
At last count, we have 37.
37, okay. Thank you.
It's gone up in the last couple of years. Okay, any other questions for Sarah? If not, we need an approval for the compliance report.
So moved.
Motion by Eric, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lori, is there any further discussion? If none, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, 5.8, approve an out-of-state travel request. Josh.
This one is a request for approval for 3 of our art teachers, Heather Carnegie, Christy Menke, and Lei Upaw, to attend the National Arts Education Association Conference in Chicago, Illinois, March 4th through the 6th. This has gone to our district staff development admin and has been approved there, and it was recommended for approval at the instructional committee.
Okay. Do we have a motion for the out-of-state travel request?
So move.
Motion by Matt, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ann, any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, 5.9, approve the revised 26-27 school calendar. Joel.
Yeah, I'll try and make this short and sweet, but with the approval of the teacher contract earlier in the agenda, it puts into play just a couple of changes we need to make to the calendar that was approved last month. It's three small changes. The first one is that with the approval of the reduction of 1 staff day into next year, the teacher calendar year will now start on August 25th instead of August 24th. With Martin Luther King Day now being a paid holiday, this was an in-service day that now becomes a no-school day for all. And as we were making some of these adjustments with a smaller group of EMW staff, it was kind of pulled out that although we'd really like to have another day down here in April, you'll remember there was that planned Learn from Home Day for professional development for staff. That day did get shifted to the 15th, and that allows for the transition support from one semester to the next. And so those are the 3 revisions that were made from the original calendar that was approved.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the revised calendar?
So moved.
Motion by Ann, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Eric, is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. 5.10, approved pay equity implementation compliance report. Joel.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best here. This is Carmen's, but I'm going to fill in for her. This was a process that she did actually on short notice, and so just a shout out for the work that she did to get this in on time. But we did submit our pay equity compliance, which is a law that requires all entities to complete with the Minnesota Management and Budget Organization down or up in St. Paul. And on January 30th, we were notified that we successfully met all the requirements of the Local Government Pay Equity Act. And so looking for the district's approval of that same report that was accepted by Minnesota Management and Budget.
Okay, do we have a motion for the compliance report?
So moved.
Motion by Ann, do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, 511, that comes from the consent agenda. Approve the Southwest West Central Service Cooperative contracts for 26-27.
Thanks for your flexibility on this. This went through both committees, and we had shared we were going to put it on consent. Since that meeting, there is a small change in the dollar amount, which is why I'm bringing it back for discussion. This is the, this is 1 year off, but the original contract that we brought to both committees had us for technology coordination services. It's this line right here. You can kind of see highlighted. I'll maybe zoom in a little more. That new number was supposed to be $102,226 for 3 days of service. After the second committee meeting, a small team of us did dive deep into the technology service portion of the contract, and it was determined with Amy and her team that truly they could probably get by with one less day a week given the team that we have in place. And so we did notify the co-op that we do want to reduce by 1 day. So the total number goes from $993,246 to $963,086. So again, a reduction of approximately $30,000. And just also note, since we're in full discussion, that there was another significant drop from the prior year, given that we are no longer using the special education assistant director services. So overall, our contract is down about $102,000, $125,000.
Okay, this went through committees. Do I have a motion to approve the Southwest West Central Service Co-op contract?
So moved.
Motion by Ann. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Aaron. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, 6.0 reports. Superintendent's report.
Yeah, as I had shared at the beginning of the meeting, lots of great things happening in and throughout the district. Shared a couple at the start. I do want to highlight two others. As we're starting to wrap up our winter season, we've had some really great success in two of our activities. So I'm pleased to share and celebrate the outstanding accomplishments of two of our winter athletic programs, our dance team and our girls gymnastics team. Both programs demonstrated exceptional growth, commitment, and competitive excellence throughout the regular season, positioning themselves for remarkable postseason success. Our dance team had a tremendous year, highlighted by the Jazz team earning a third-place finish at the Section 3A tournament to advance to the state competition. The team represented Worthington with pride at the state meet held at the Target Center, finishing 9th overall. What stood out most was the growth of the athletes throughout the season. As a dance uncle, I got to go to a couple throughout the year, made some trips around the state, and was evident that their improvement in performance and confidence was there every week. They competed with poise, representing our school and community exceptionally well. Our girls gymnastics team continues to build on their tradition. This year marks their 12th consecutive trip to the state tournament, and another extraordinary accomplishment that reflects the consistency and strength of the program. The team achieved a season-high score of 142.625 at the section meet. Most importantly, both teams excelled in the classroom. Both teams were recognized as section academic awards for their achievement and commitment to maintaining high standards as student athletes. Their dedication to balancing rigorous academic expectations with competitive athletics is commendable and aligns with our district's commitment to developing well-rounded students. Finally, the leadership behind these programs deserves special recognition. Coach Joni Reitmeyer and Coach Taylor Hastings were both named Section Coaches of the Year, an honor that reflects their dedication and expertise and the positive culture they foster within their teams. Strong leadership is foundational, and both coaches model the values of hard work, integrity, and pride in representing Worthington. So just a shout out to both of those groups.
6.2, the instructional committee.
Everything's been covered either on the consent or main agenda.
Okay. Operations.
Well covered, Mr. Chairman.
All righty. Any other reports? Okay, 7.0, other business.
Bear with me, I have two quick ones. We do have the upcoming work session in 2 weeks in February. Again, just a reminder, at that work session, Site Logic will be present to go through their full facility assessment that they had promised in early October when they were here. The second part of that work session, the last 15 minutes or so, will be a presentation by Geronimo Power. They've asked to come and speak to board, and so we'll do that at an open meeting in February. I'd like to propose a second work session on March 31st, and Lisa and I can work with board members to try and get that scheduled if that's okay. We'd like to come right back, given that facility assessment, and begin really diving into scope and vision for 2027 projects while it's fresh in mind. So hoping that's okay with board.
March 31.
March 31, if we work on some dates and times, somewhere around there. Okay. And then just secondly, as board members came, you saw that you all have brand new shiny badges. We did want to share that not only did we want you to have identification as we encourage you to continue to be out in buildings and engage with students and staff, but we do now have new safety protocols in place at the district office that started today. And so any guest will now be able to come through the main door, vestibule door, but will buzz to get in, much like they do in many of our sites. And so as board members, you now have the ability to enter into that space without having to be buzzed.
Okay. 8.0, future business. You just covered the board session, February 24th, 6:15, district office. Nothing else. I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ann. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Lori. Meeting adjourned.